The Utah Jazz select John Stockton of Gonzaga University.
He did it! John Stockton, a new NBA assist king. The crowd going crazy.
John Stockton sends the Utah Jazz to the NBA Finals.
John Stockton, stealing time, passing history. On May 2nd, 2003, John Stockton uttered the words, "I think I'm finished. It's time for me to move on." And just like that, the 41-year-old passed on playing another season, promptly ending an improbable 19-year career in the NBA, all of them with the Utah Jazz.
John is the ultimate gym rat.
And he's not doing it for the paycheck, he's doing it for the love of the game.
He is tenacious. He has a problem with losing.
I have heard him defined as the kind of guy who has to beat his 5-year-old kid in ping pong 15 zip every game.
Anything he does well.
It's one of those guys, every team wants a guy like John Stockton.
You never know the guy was a superstar, the way he carries himself, and I like that.
He's very unimposing. When you meet John Stockton, he's like somebody's little brother.
He's never looked like a basketball player, but the shorty shorts, I know he used to hate this. I used to call him John Boy, because he reminded me of, in that TV series, of the Waltons.
I remember my rookie year and actually seeing him at the NBA All-Star game. And I had played against him already. However, when you see him, he doesn't look like a basketball player. So he was walking through the hotel, and he had a suit on. He looks like an insurance salesman. And then the second time I see him later on, he says, "Hey, Kenny, how you doing?" And I look, and I thought it was a fan because of his size and his stature. But on the court, you know who he is, you know what he does, and he does it better than anyone's who ever done it at the point guard position.
He's something special. I think of him as the point guard. Perfection.
When you talk about point guard, the classic point guard, that's John Stockton.
John Stockton is a professional basketball player. And when I say that, I mean that he is the guy who you would want your son to play basketball like.
Well, he's the best point guard of all time. I mean, not only what he's been able to do at the peak of his career, but how he's been able to play with such consistency and longevity. It's amazing.
I used to have a coach that always say, make your teammate an all-star, all-pro, and that's what he tried to do every night.
Stockton retired as the NBA's all-time leader in steals and assists. He led the league in assists an astounding 9 straight seasons. 7 of those years, he totaled more than 1,000. His 15,806 career mark is nearly 6,000 more than Mark Jackson, who's number 2 on that list.
The main thing about a point guard is he looks to dish before he looks to swish.
Well, that's the heart and soul of his game, because I associate that with the way the point guard position is played. You know, John comes over half court thinking, how am I going to set something up for one of the other 4 guys, rather than thinking, what am I going to do for myself?
You can't teach what John Stockton can see on the court under pressure.
He not only can see everybody, but he remembers where they are.
Taking a visual picture of where the guys are on the floor, not having to look at a guy to make a play.
He can anticipate when guys are going to be open, and that's a sign of a great passer that can know when a guy is going to be open, know where he likes it, and deliver it there.
He picks you apart, throws it right by through traffic, 3 guys there. The defense never sees the ball coming. It's right to the guy for a layup. I mean, absolutely unbelievable, marvelous.
When you watch players cut when Stockton has the ball, they've always got their hands up and their eyes on the ball, because you never know when he's going to let it go.
Stockton puts under this big one. Slam dunk.
He sees an opening and he's going to fire it at you. And of course, that's where the old saying, know your customer, comes from, because you know, some guys needed room service passes, as we called them, you know, like come over and hand the ball to you because you're not ready to catch it.
He's the all-time assist leader in steals, and you know, people don't really talk about the steals as much as the assists, but you know, he plays both sides of the court, and that's what makes him a complete player. For him to hold both records is an incredible achievement, and those 2 records will probably be there for a long time.
His instincts as an offensive player, he converted those to defense, and he saw the passes before they were thrown. He anticipated what he would do, and so when the opponent did it, bingo, he had the ball and off he went.
He's a good defender because he gets over those screens and picks with a lot of gusto. He doesn't allow guys to pick him off And then if he has a mismatch, he doesn't allow a taller player to try to post him inside. So he's working diligently and relentlessly to get inside to stop the play.
He doesn't go out there and play around with the game. He's very serious about it. He's a smart basketball player. You know, everybody say he's dirty, but I think that's wrong. I think that's not a statement for him. I think that he doesn't understand. He goes out and play basketball the way he knows how to play, hard.
I tell people all the time, this to me has been like the greatest era of basketball. I got a chance to play against Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and you put John Stockton right in that group.
John Houston Stockton was born March 26, 1962 in Spokane, Washington, where he grew up the third youngest of 4 children to Jack and Clementine Stockton.
Irish suburban Catholic, 3 words, that's it. Right in this neighborhood.
My dad was born and raised in a house 3 blocks from the house he currently lives in, and we've all been around that little neighborhood our entire lives.
And it was not a wealthy neighborhood. And so families worked hard and they worked together. And I think John has that in him from his family and from his neighborhood.
John's father ran Jack and Dan's, a popular tavern that's a stone's throw away from the Stockton household. When Jack wasn't pouring pints, he was helping raise a tight-knit family.
Things were handled at the appropriate time. He didn't sweat the small stuff. Mom's always been solid as a rock, and again, when you have good parameters and fair parents, it sure seemed easy growing up.
During John's adolescent years, he was close to his sisters, Stacy and Leanne, but it was older brother Steve that John had the strongest bond.
As for my brother and I, we competed. I competed constantly. I think that I'm 4 years younger than him, and it was never very difficult for him to beat me at anything. I spent most of my life just hoping to beat him once at something. I didn't care what it was, even if I could grow an inch taller than him or throw one strike past him, anything, and I would have been pleased.
If he and Steve mowed the lawn together, they'd figure out a way to compete while they're mowing the lawn. It would become a game to them. And they were that way shoveling the walks, pacing off and see who could clear how much snow the quickest.
The competition between the two grew more fierce on the family driveway, playing the game they loved.
The backboard was attached to aluminum patio roof, so it was noisy. I mean, it bang, bang, bang constantly. Every night we'd have dinner and they'd go out and shoot hoops.
There were a lot of moments of bloody lips, pretty rugged battles that my parents seemed to ignore.
The games in the driveway were a lot of fun. They were a lot of fun for me early.
If I tried too hard to stop him, then I'd just get pushed into the fence or knocked down, and he'd hold the ball above his head and I'd jump for it and he'd just kind of tease me.
When John and Steve played, there were no rules. They were their own referees, and everything was subject of debate, let's put it that way.
The only rule was there were no rules. And if you made a bucket going to the hoop, you earned it and deserved it. They were pretty nasty.
Can't go left without getting airmailed into the wood fence, and we had the convent next door. You know, and there's been a couple times that the sisters over there had to shut the windows due to some profanity.
And I remember coming in crying a couple times, and my mom wouldn't even stop washing a dish. She'd just say, well, if he's too big, don't play with him. And then I'd run out in the living room and see if Dad would do the same thing. And he said, don't go play with those big kids if they're too tough for you. And a few minutes later, I was out there pestering them again.
When he went out and played with older people or guys a little better than he was at that time, to make sure he got the ball to the right people, and so he picked that up real early.
When I was with kids my own age, they were bigger and stronger and better. A great teammate that I emulated as much as anybody else, Steve Brown, from 6th grade through high school, and just having him on the team, raising that bar constantly every day.
John raised his own bar after school one day at an unlikely place.
The biggest thrill he ever gave me, it was in a grade school track meet. And they were having an all-city meet, and I know he never trained for it. He ran the mile. They had a big guy that was, he was it in the mile here. John was putting along behind him the whole thing, and then he buried the guy. And it was the biggest thrill, because I didn't even know he could run the mile. And he broke the city record by 15 seconds.
After St. Al's,
First impression of John, just a skinny, small kid, not ready to play. You know, looked like a junior high player. They laugh about the priests here would give him a key so he could get into the gym, and he always had, a game going on. And
it's not unrealistic to think that he would spend 5 to 6 hours playing hoop, whether it be in a facility or outside shooting around or bouncing the ball in his room. He lived for it. It was really what made him tick.
He did a lot of stuff on his own, like dribbling in the basement in the dark. I can remember there's some nuns that live right behind us down there. And one nun came by one night, and he's out there with cotton gloves on shooting free throws in the snow. And the nun came up and says, he's going to be something someday.
John's hard work paid off by his sophomore season at Gonzaga Prep, when he earned a starting spot on the varsity team. Stockton wasn't flashy, but incredibly efficient.
I yelled at him and I said, hey, can't you be creative a little once in a while? He mumbled, and next time down, he throws a behind the back bounce pass to a guy in stride for a layup. And as he runs back by me, he says, is that creative enough, coach?
Stockton continued to amaze the next couple of years, and by his senior season, John averaged 23 points per contest and had 17 steals in one game. But the 5'10", 145-pound point guard had few college suitors.
When the time came, there were only 2 or 3 Division I teams that recruited me.
John visited us, he visited Montana, he visited Idaho with Don Munson, who really wanted him, and he visited Seattle Pacific.
Carroll College was interested. I think that Montana was interested. And when Gonzaga showed some interest, it was great for John because he wanted to play in his own backyard.
Once I went on the first recruiting trip, I pretty much knew I didn't want to leave home. And the decision was simple. I'd grown up on campus at Gonzaga. It didn't seem that appealing, but it was perfect.
He committed on Easter Sunday. He called my house and he said, Coach Fitz, I'm going to go to Montana. And my heart just dropped, because by that time, we felt strongly about him and felt we had to have him. And then he said, when you guys go over and play him, in typical John fashion.
You see how his career turned out. I did get a degree in business. That again goes back to you better take care of the necessities, and never, ever in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be playing professional basketball.
Actually, the person who first mentioned him to me was Fran McCarthy, for the coach of Weber State. And this fellow had said, he's ice.
The Utah Jazz select John Stockton of Gonzaga University.
I was not fully convinced it was the right thing to do. And we drafted him primarily as a backup to Ricky Green, who was an all-star point guard and quite a great player in his own rights.
I'd like to say that I'm very excited at the possibility of playing with the Utah Jazz. They're looking for a point guard to back up Ricky Green. He was an all-star player last year.
Before John could join the Jazz, he first had to sign with them.
Well, he held out a little bit. A lot of people don't realize that. You know, he had a lot of confidence in himself, and he had a lot of moxie. And we tried to sign him for the absolute minimum. And I even threatened him one time and told him, okay, I told his agent that you better get him a road map and an apple, because he's going to be over playing in Italy or Greece or something. He's not going to be playing in the NBA.
The two sides eventually agreed to terms, and John signed a contract worth $80,000, $5,000 more than the league minimum. After that, it was time for the fresh-faced rookie to hit the hardwood.
Well, this was my one shot.
You know, he didn't look like anything special, just real quiet, really nice guy, just kind of feeling his way around.
I went into camp and I remembered knowing who everybody was, and strangely enough, I remembered calling an old coach at home and saying, hey, they're not that good. That made it fun. I knew that I could at least compete with them. And again, I had no delusions about being a player or getting a chance to play much, but I looked forward to the practices, I looked forward to the drills, and getting to see how you could hold up against some of these guys.
Ricky Green was one of the first people that came and told me, he says, Coach, he says, this is a good one. He said, he's something special.
He was somebody who liked to play the game and was very tough in training camp, and got right up in guys' faces and gave Ricky Green all he could handle in practice every day.
Played against him in an exhibition game when I was with the Boston Celtics. And I knew right then that Stockton was going to be good. I had no idea he was going to be as good as he was, and I don't think anybody could have.
There was never any question about his ability to play. The biggest question mark that we had was, would he hold up? And little did we know that he'd hold up as well as he has and played as long as he has.
John's parents were thrilled their son had fulfilled a lifelong dream by just making it to the NBA.
I can remember when John was a rookie, in first and second year, my wife used to get in our old Oldsmobile station wagon. If we drove over here about 6 blocks and pointed the car towards Salt Lake City, we could get hot rod. And he'd fade in and fade out, and we'd sit out there in that car, just tickled to death to be able to listen to it, because the Jazz were never broadcast up here.
John's rookie season was a modest one. He averaged 18 minutes, 5 points, and 5 assists per contest.
There's a lot of things that change between NBA and college. Bodies are bigger, they're much faster, much more athletic. They can cover ground with just wingspan. So you had to do things a little bit sooner. You had to pass sooner, you had to make decisions sooner, you have to do things quicker.
You know, at the end of his first year, I said, the difference in you making it in this league, just being another guy and maybe in a couple of years being cut, you have to increase your range. Because the way we play and the way we want to get the ball inside, you've got to be a more than adequate three-point shooter. Well, he went home and he took care of that.
Stockton's second season, Utah added rookie Karl Malone. The pair bonded instantly in a game against Houston.
Ralph Sampson was playing on the low side of him. He was on the block, and he was really, really overplaying it. And for some reason, I threw the ball behind Ralph Sampson. So he's leaning out this way, and I threw the ball from behind him. Don't know, to this day, I don't know why I threw it. There was nothing there, it wasn't open. But that instant that I loaded to throw, Karl spun and threw his hand behind Ralph Sampson and laid it up. And I marveled at
at his end of that, I don't know why I threw it. It wouldn't be construed as a good pass other than it was completed for a layup. It was just an incredible move, and he read something there that forever gave me confidence throwing him just about any pass.
Carl sets the screen, Stock left to right, rolls to Carl. He's under, slam it in with the left hand. Oh, what a play.
After playing behind Ricky Green for most of his first 3 seasons, Stockton became the team's floor general in his 4th year. It was a watershed season for the Jazz and John. The newly appointed point guard broke the NBA's all-time single-season assist record with 1,128, surpassing the previous mark set by Isaiah Thomas.
3, 2, a leap and leader by Stock, no good. Rebound, Stockton. Left side of Bailey, all alone. He scored. What a play by John Stockton.
We were pretty good up to a certain point, but when those two came into their own, this franchise just was put on their shoulders.
Perry's back. Great move by Stockton. Oh! Stockton behind his back and the dish to Malone. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen.
Led by Stockton and Malone, Utah won what was then a franchise-best 47 games during the 1987-88 season. In the playoffs, they pushed the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers to a 7-game series in the Western Conference semifinals.
John Stockton was the reason that we played 7 games. He kept his team poised. They were confident. They felt that they had a chance to really beat us. And we only won right at the end in that 7th game.
That was the year that they really arrived as a team, and those 2 players became the absolute anchors of one of the greatest runs of a team in the history of the NBA.
That run included 5 Midwest Division titles, and in the 1996-97 season, Utah won a franchise record 64 games, reaching heights never seen before in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals against the Houston Rockets.
We had a great comeback.
Stockton, 3-on-2, keeps it, tie game.
That whole last 4 minutes or 5 minutes of that 4th quarter were so improbable.
And Stockton has been the man here in the 4th quarter.
Everything came together.
What's at stake? The Utah Jazz, if they can pull out a victory here, go to the NBA Finals for the first time.
We had a full house in here, as a matter of fact, and Jack was watching it down at the house.
And this place was packed, and I went home so I could watch it because everybody's talking. So I went home and I was sitting in the living room when he shot it all by myself.
All I saw of that game was probably the last minute.
It's the same play we ran all the time.
The guys want a shot in those situations. Usually can step up and make them.
You know, I'm sure that's what every kid in the world dreams about doing that one time. So it was no different for John, I'm sure.
Russell will inbound at half court.
I was in the corner in front of the bench there, and when I saw him with the ball and no one near him, I'm like, oh my God.
Stockton, open 3, good! John Stockton sends the Utah Jazz to the NBA Finals.
Well, I was sitting on the bench, so I got a good view of it. When it left his hands, I just got up and started walking to the locker room. I just knew. I mean, I knew the guy was going to make it because he's just ice.
I knew it was in. That's the kind of player that he is. He was not going to be denied that moment.
When he hit that shot, we all screamed so loud that we woke up everybody.
I just went bonkers, and I came down the alley here, which is 2 blocks, and people were standing up, so they knew I'd be coming. And they were, God, it was great. It was really, that was a big thrill for me.
We have never seen this kind of emotion from Stockton and Malone, and finally, their day has come.
He was acting like a little kid. He jumped up and down. He had his fist clenched, and he was just jumping up and down. He was the happiest guy in the world.
It was so much fun just seeing him hit that. And when he started, jumping up and down, we thought, hey, we can do it too.
He made that shot. I was running around the house crazy. Running all over the house. Doing what he did and everything.
It was a special day. You don't see him showing any emotion on the court, and that one was something else.
That was so many things all wrapped up into one. It was our first chance to go to the championship. It was really the first time we'd been able to beat Houston at anything.
I've never really gotten over, my first year I got traded to Houston, and he hit the shot over me to send the Jazz to the finals. It was just a terrific shot.
And what a great moment for the Utah franchise. Their proudest moment ever.
It's got to be the greatest shot in Jazz history in terms of what it meant to the team.
After knocking off Houston to reach the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise history, Utah met the defending champion Chicago Bulls. The Bulls led the series 2-1 and had a 5-point lead with just over 2 minutes remaining in Game 4, when Stockton took over once again.
John Stockton with an enormous shot to bring the Jazz within 2.
John then stole the ball from Michael Jordan and was fouled on the fast break, pulling the Jazz even closer from the free throw line. That set up another magical moment in the game's final minute.
Game 4 of the NBA Finals with the Bulls up 2 games to 1. And Jordan comes up court. Stockton fires down on the line. And the Jazz take it a walk-off lead.
John Stockton, you work on this pass your whole life. Stockton, normally so stoic, he says, yeah. 2, 3. Give him a pogo stick out there.
To me, that's a pass there that I'll remember. Out of all the great ones he's made, I'll remember this one right here probably for the rest of my career, because it had to be, like I said, the perfect pass.
With the win, the Jazz evened the series at 2 games apiece, but the Bulls took the next 2 and the title. The following year, Utah and Chicago each won 62 games during the regular season and met one more time for the ultimate prize. Jordan and the Bulls came away with the trophy a second time, taking the series 4 games to 2.
It's not a pleasurable experience, I can assure you that. It's a lot of work to put in and end up like this.
The balance that we had against this team the 2 years in the finals was probably, some of the greatest finals that I've played in, because of the fact that, they were just such a tenacity team that, they just kept coming back. And it was 2 years in a row that, we had to beat this team.
Stockton's a lot. You got to be able to say it like it's one word.
Never done. Stockton to Malone at their ever-loving best.
You can't really talk about one in basketball without the other one.
What a wonderful combination. John getting the pick and rolls from the best power forward in the history of basketball. Do they do it well? They do it the best of anybody I've ever seen.
Nobody probably in the history of basketball has run the pick and roll like John and Karl Malone.
It's amazing to watch, especially after all these years when people have seen him do it and still can't stop it.
Scoop it up in here. Pick and roll, Karl Malone.
What a deadly weapon. I mean, it's like the sky hook. It's one of a kind.
It's tough tandem. 2 guys that's capable of winning games by themselves. That's at any age. They're the greatest screen roll players I've ever seen in the game.
In terms of a twosome, they've probably, and their skills, have complemented themselves about as well as any 2 people, given the positions they played, and I suppose they've exploited each other well.
Karl brings the brute strength, the force, and John, the savvy, the passing, the shooting. Those 2 are lucky to have the opportunity to play with each other for so long.
They're both very blessed that they got a chance to play with each other. They're 2 guys who, I talk about how they make other players better. They made each other better.
I always resented Karl Malone for getting to play with a point guard that good, because that's all you really want. If you're going to run the floor, like Karl, who's terrific, run the floor every play, you're going to get the ball.
One of the great things about Karl Malone is that he might be the best running forward that has ever played the game. And one of the reasons he's such a great running forward is he plays with a point guard who will always give the ball up.
People talk about he and Malone being in the league so many years, but that's okay because they're farther ahead in knowledge of the game and how to play the game than many players ever will be.
When I raise my children, I will raise them and tell them that's who you want to be like. That's how you want to emulate your life. And I think it's a testimony to those two men that a lot of people feel that way.
The Stockton-Malone contribution to the Utah Jazz, I mean, it's just second to nothing in major sports. It's just a great story. These guys have played together for so many years and stayed healthy, and no matter who their teammates are, over the period of 20-odd seasons, these guys have kept this franchise at the top. When you talk about greatness, you have to enter longevity in there, be able to keep your body healthy and to play for many, many years, and nobody's played longer at that position than John Stockton.
You use the phrase freak of nature, I think would fit him well. Nobody is supposed to be 40 plus years of age and still being able to do the things that he does.
You can take the 24-year-old and play against those guys, and quickness means nothing. It's when you take that burst of speed. How you come off a pick like John and runs it with Carl. He just knows how to basically sucker those other players into doing what he wants them to do. And that's just being a smart player.
It's good to watch him, you know, teach the young guys a few tricks, because all the young guys can come in and run and jump and do all the fancy stuff. And, you know, at the end of the night, you know, he's 5 for 7 with 12 assists and they can't figure out what happened.
He's just the ultimate point guard. I mean, you know, you learn so much from him, you know, when you're playing against him. You know, he's very heady, smart.
He's a basketball genius. In order to do it as long as he's done it and as good as he's done it, you have to be smarter than the next guy.
So he's taken care of himself well over the years, and not only physically, but maintained his mental stamina as well.
There were days when I just couldn't seem to get my focus going, or wasn't feeling too good, or my back hurt, or whatever. Just go over and sit by John for a little bit, and all of a sudden you could get yourself dialed back in pretty quickly.
I feel like it's my job to be ready to play every night, and even more than that, I feel like I owe it to my teammates to be ready to play every night. I don't want to let them down. I don't want anybody disappointed in me. I don't want anybody disappointed in our team, and that goes from coaches, teammates, family members, kids, parents, whatever.
John rarely let anyone down. He was an Iron Man, missing just 22 games throughout his career. Stock played in every single game, 17 of his 19 years.
John has a great body. People don't realize, you know, what a good build he has. He's a powerful man.
I never fully get out of shape, and I think a lot of guys get injured trying to get back into shape. They overdo it, and then there's never a layoff again with the long season to get through it.
He's amazing. People have no idea of the things he does to stay in shape.
Whether it be when he's at the lake taking an hour and riding to the top of the mountain, you know, which nobody does. Everybody gets in a four-wheeler or something and goes to the top of the mountain to the lookout post at the ranger station. Well, John doesn't. He gets on his bike and he pedals his butt up there and takes a look around and says how beautiful it is and comes back and tells us about it. But that's the kind of thing that he'll do that nobody really has any idea about. You know, he'll be gone for an hour and a half. What's he doing? I went for a bike ride. You know, he's not going for a bike ride. He's doing something that he knows that's going to help him in the next season or the next week or the next month or maybe the next year. Who knows?
For him to stay healthy and to stay fit and to be as great a player as he's been for so long, and to miss so few games and to play in the playoffs so many years, it's amazing. I mean, he's got to be one of the toughest competitors in all of sports, you know, in the history of all sports.
6'1", 170 pounds. If you asked him to go set a pick on Shaq, he had no problem with it. Whatever it took. You know, that seemed like to be his motto. Whatever it took to win the game, I'll do it.
I try to run him over when he tries it with me. You know, he gets up onto you and he gives you a good shot.
Very few guards will go do that. Very few guards will go and sacrifice their body to get their teammate open. You know, they think, well, if I just bring the ball up and get it to the right person, I've done my job. John plays the complete game.
He is so focused on playing, you know, his mind wills his body to heal, or that he just ignores that he's got any pain going on.
Yeah, I don't even know if he feels pain.
John Stockton is tough.
Well, I don't know if you can write the word down and describe anybody else other than John Stockton when it comes to playing the game of basketball.
When he went to the Olympics, you know, he had a broken fibula, and a lot of players, it would have been a way to cop out. I made the Olympic team, but I broke my leg or something. But he continued to compete.
There are a lot of great players in this league, but somehow they seem to get injured or miss games. And John Stockton, you pretty much can pencil in 82 games every year, and you know what you're going to get. And it doesn't matter if he's banged up, if he's sore, if he's hurt. You know he's going to be there, you know he's going to play the minutes, and you know he's going to produce.
If he didn't have his work ethic and his ability to stay focused, he wouldn't be where he is right now.
In a lot of ways, as important what you do before you go on the court than it is what you do on the court, because there's a carryover, and I've tried to make myself as prepared as I can, physically, mentally, for every contest, every season.
The mental part of it has been something that John has absolutely surpassed everybody else in.
He gets in the heads of the opponent. I think that through the years, you know, a lot of guys wonder, who is this guy that wears his pants a little bit shorter?
That's a competitor. He's got that fire in his eye.
Tough guy to compete against, a guy who never backed down.
It's a headache, you know, because you know it's not a night off. You know, he's going to bring it when he's out there on the floor, and so, you know, he plays hard. He loves the competition. He loves to go against the best.
Stockton's killer instinct was never more evident than at crunch time.
He's got running room. Stockton, dive, hang it up. It's good. It's good. The Jazz win it. The Jazz win it. I can't believe it. 9 seconds left. 8. Stockton right side. 3-pointer. It's good. He did it. He did it. The Jazz win the game.
Stockton on the turn for the win. An incredible play by an incredible player.
But on the screen, Stockton goes right side. He's open. He'll take it for 20. Got it. Stockton hits it.
John's competitive spirit goes far beyond the basketball court.
Will he cheat to win? I don't think he'd cheat to win. But I think he's going to take advantage of the rules.
I've played Pictionary with him where it's the world championship. I mean, it doesn't matter. If he's going to do it, he's going to try and beat you.
Almost eating dinner, you look over and who's eating faster, you know, and it's like, better get going because you're not going to get another bite.
Players were playing Pop-A-Shot with each other, and it was winner stays on. Well, after we've been playing for a while, this 12-year-old kid in a wheelchair comes up to John and wants to, or comes to the, you know, can I play? Yeah, you can. Well, it turns out the kid's pretty good. And it's apparent that he's going to beat John. John gets up and starts blocking his shot. And I thought, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this picture. And then I realized there wasn't really anything wrong with it. It was just a very clear definition of how competitive John Stockton is.
He's very competitive. I have the stitches right across here to prove that. We were playing hockey and we're all out there. It's the kids and parents, and we're both going for the puck, and boom. He won out on that. I ended up on the ice needing a couple stitches, 6 stitches to be exact. He's very competitive, but it is in a very friendly manner. I mean, it's...
Did he help you back up?
Yeah, he did. He did. He brought me to go get my stitches.
John's an average guy. John likes to play softball. He likes to ride four-wheelers. He likes to hang out, likes to swim, water ski.
He's a avid reader. He loves to read about science stuff. He's into natural medicine.
He's one of those guys that irritates you from the standpoint of the day after the season's over, he can go out and shoot 80 on the golf course, you know. Put a bat in his hands, he can start knocking balls over the fence.
I taught English one time. He's kind of a Dickens character, I think, a little bit. And he's kind of steely and he's clever. And I think he's verbally very clever, okay? He's got a great sense of humor and he's highly intelligent.
We're on the bus, we're ready to leave after the game and go to the airport. And Carl Malone's usually the last guy to get on the bus because he's doing all these interviews and whatever. And John will yell at Sloan, at Coach Sloan, he'll say, "Hey, Jerry, we don't need the mailman, let's leave him. We can win without him. Besides that, he's got enough money, let him buy his own airplane. We'll see him there tomorrow." And about this time, Carl walks on the bus and John says, "Hey, Carl, all the guys wanted to leave you." I said, "I'm not going anywhere without the mailman."
He could do my voice pretty good and my inflection.
In India, they worship this body.
And every once in a while, on the bus, we would hear it from the back of the bus coming out, you know, some cliche that I had, you know, and that guy wasn't ready. When we called on him, we pushed his button, but he wasn't ready. And John could imitate that.
Deadly, you're making $1 million a year. Griffith, you're making 500,000, 300,000, 600,000. What's Larry Bird worth? 18 million, 20 million? He's kicking our butts.
He was trying to motivate us. We were down by 20, so we went out and lost by 30.
Shy is not even a word that you would use to describe him.
And our kids, he's not Uncle John, the NBA player. He's Uncle John they call Uncle Fun.
Always, you know, willing to have fun, always willing to help out. He's always there for you.
He helps me out a lot with basketball. He really helps me out a lot in homework.
He takes us to the lake every summer in Spokane, and then we drive out to the lake, and he reads to us every night.
John's love for basketball is exceeded only by the love for his family.
My kids, it's all about them.
John is so focused and stays on his course, and his family became a priority, and even over a priority over the NBA.
If he had to bounce around and pick up his family, that would be almost, I won't say entirely unacceptable, almost unacceptable to him, because he is deeply rooted in the family.
A day that's not a game day, he's up at 7 o'clock taking Houston off to school. Then he comes back, he takes all the rest of the kids to school that starts at 8:20, comes back home, he gets Samuel his breakfast every once in a while, and off he goes to practice. And I think that right there tells you what kind of guy he is, what kind of family man he is.
It's a family that John shielded from the NBA spotlight.
I know we've done the right thing. I look at our kids and you can see that we've raised them in the most normal environment that we can.
He's real concerned about growing up in a famous world. He just doesn't want his kids to do that. And so he goes into his little cocoon and he really protects himself.
Incredibly proud of him, how he's handled himself as a basketball player, how he's handled himself as a parent, as a father to those darling kids.
Honestly, just simply wanted to play basketball and go home and be with his family, and it's a job like any other job from that standpoint.
The travel and being away from his family, and that thing has been, that's the hardest thing on him. As far as the playing and stuff like that, he could do that for a long time. So I thought that he wouldn't have lasted as long as he has because of just the time frame away from his family.
John's NBA journey may now be over, but he won't be far from the game.
Probably be coaching football, basketball, and baseball, soccer, girls soccer, whatever. I don't know. I've enjoyed that with my kids. And I think I'd enjoy it even if it wasn't my kids. It's just a great opportunity to take what I've learned and really, I think, do it the right way.
The Spokane community has already reaped the benefits from Stockton's generosity. In November of 2002, he opened the Warehouse, a 40,000 square foot sports complex that sits just across the street from Gonzaga. The facility features 5 basketball courts, which includes an old Delta Center floor and a state-of-the-art baseball practice area.
I've died and gone to heaven. This has been a tremendous windfall for not only Gonzaga baseball, but for our whole community.
We get just people that come by on a daily basis saying, wow, what a nice thing that John did. And I think people are genuinely excited. I know the little kids that play in here are, the adults that come in, and I'd say, I think, safely say that the community is excited about it.
He's one of a kind.
A guy that just got it done, never flashy.
Choir boy with Mike Tyson's punch.
Playing against John Stockton would be like painting against Picasso. He's the best at it.
I think he's a dying breed, especially at the point guard position.
I think John's, over the years, has had the kind of respect that he's kind of set a standard for what the point guard position is all about.
I don't think anyone, will come along with that type of stamina and can do it, with that type of perfection for this long.
A guy who probably controlled a team and a game better than anybody I've ever seen.
Very pesty,
but probably one of the greatest players to ever play the game in his position. That's on both ends of the court.
They talk about records that'll never be broken. I think John's assist record will never be broken. I don't think there's a chance that'll even happen.
I have so much respect for this guy, his approach to the game, the way he did it, his court carriage.
One of the greatest point guards to ever play the game. Toughness, hard working.
And every time that I would play against him, I used to tell my boys, watch the game tonight. I don't care if other games you watch, but you watch John Stockton play.
Doesn't care who gets the credit and is just there for the team. That's his sole function out there, is to help the team win games. And that caliber of unselfishness and skills in the same package is I think, an incredibly powerful thing that it'll be a while before the
That's about fifth.
It looks like every guy that you went to school with, you think that was a pretty good guy. And I think that oftentimes the one thing that never comes up is how much ability he has.
His success on the basketball court, made him notable around the world, basically. But, to us here, he's just a very nice man.
It's great to see a friend of yours succeed to the level he has and know that he's done it right.
The best that ever played the game at his position. That's the first thing I think of.
Perfection. He is the Michelangelo of point guards.
He makes plays look so easy, but on the other hand, when you have asked some other people to try to do that, that's impossible.
There's no question in my mind, if you say one of the top point guards to ever play this game, John Stockton's name is going to be there, because he is. I mean, he's proven it.
If any guy out there in high school, junior high, wants to play the point guard position, they should try to be like John Stockton.
Great player. I mean, great guy too. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, as everybody know, and I admire him a lot.
If you had told me that someday he was going to be a Hall of Famer, an Olympic champion, saying the best point guard that ever lived, then I would have said you're a liar, because nobody knew that.
All the cliches, all the trite things you say, they're true about John Stockton. He's a better person than he is a player. He plays basketball the way it's supposed to be played, and he's one of those guys who makes his teammates better, and there's not a lot of people you can say that about.
I've got to know John, number one, as a man, as a father, as a husband. I consider him a friend, but I got great memories of the best point guard to ever play the game.
I just hope that the NBA have appreciated what a guy's trying to do for all these years, undersized, they say, and all of that, from a little town, and he wasn't fast enough. He never crossed anybody over between the legs, behind the back. He just played the game like he's supposed to play it.
I'm not sure we'll ever see a guy that has all those attributes, but we hope for the sake of basketball there is, because I think that's what basketball
I always hoped that I'd get one shot at it, that I'd get to try out for a team at some point in time, and I thought that my career would be complete at that point.
If a person were going to try to quantify accurately what John Stockton's meant to the Jazz over his career, it would be an exercise in futility. I think there is no way
announced his retirement, he was asked when would be the next time he picked up a basketball and played again. Stockton's response, tomorrow, probably out in the yard. It's still a great game. Indeed, it is, and John Stockton is one of the best to ever play it.